And action! What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Written and Directed by I am your host. Oh, God, what was that? I'm your host, Harrison Berger. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. Hope your week was glorious and grand. Yeah, mine was great. I had a pretty great weekend. It was Mother's Day. I stayed here. I did not go home. I thought about going home, and then I realized that Mother's Day was the weekend I was deciding to go home and not the next weekend. So I kind of screwed that up. But it's okay. Sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. But I know she had a good Mother's Day, and she was with all my other family and my siblings, and it was good. It was good from what I have been told. So everything seems good. I spent some time with Justin's grandparents. His grandparents came in town to visit him, and I got to meet them for the first time, which was really nice. I've never met his grandparents. He's talked to me a lot about them at quite extent about them and how great his grandmother's cooking is, and I've tasted some of it. She's like sent things here for him, and she's an amazing cook. Just stuff I've never tried or thought of trying combinations wise, like spices wise. It was really good. But yeah, it was really nice meeting them and spending 2 days with them. Unfortunately, I don't have any grandparents anymore. My grandparents have all passed on, and so I don't. Sometimes I get jealous of people when they talk about their grandparents. My dad had his grandmother until about a week ago. Believe it or not, my dad's grandmother just passed away, which is it's bittersweet. I mean, she was in her mid to late 90s, so she lived a long life. Her husband, my great grandpa, passed away when I was 13, so over 12 years ago. And if it was like the other way around, and my wife had died, and I went 12 more years, I don't know if I could do that. That would be rough, especially if I loved her just as much as I'm sure they loved each other, I think they were married when they were 18, which is crazy. They got married when they were 18. My great grandfather served in World War II. He peeled potatoes, and he was a chef and stuff like that. But that's like the generation he was from. He was in World War II. He was born on the boat from Romania, which is crazy. Life was so much different back then. Like, when you think about it, or like you research it and talk to people, life was just so different. I know I've said it on here that at this age, the age that I am right now, my parents have been married for 5 months, and I couldn't, I can't see myself doing that right now. And I was talking to my mom about it. I brought it up because I was like, it was on my mind, and she said, well, it's probably because, you're not with anybody, and, so you can't really see yourself imagining it. And I kind of agreed with her about that, and I was like, yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. I think even if I had a girlfriend and I was in a serious relationship, I don't know if I would want to get married then. I don't know if I would have any inclination to want. I don't know if inclination is the right word, but I don't know if I would do that. But also, I don't have a serious relationship or any relationship at the moment, so it's hard to even comment on those feelings, because I really don't know. I mean, I know that right now I definitely don't want to be married. I have too much going on to even consider that. Like tonight, I'm going on my first date in over a year. Not that I haven't tried going on dates. It's just, it's been hard to find a girl that you can connect with. And I don't know, I hate dating. I hate the act of courtship or trying to get any kind of date. I don't know. I've never been a smooth talker. I've never been one who can go up to any girl and come back with like their phone number and have a date set up. Like, that's Justin. That's my brother. That's a lot of my friends are like that. And I'm not. I'm like a very shy, reserved guy. So it takes a lot. It takes like a lot of comfortability for me with that person to have my full range of emotions and personality come out. Like, my first really serious girlfriend, I knew her for a couple years, and then we just decided to try it out, and it worked for a couple years. But that's I remember actually asking her out in high school, and then later on when we were both in college, like years later, that's when it all happened. But that's because I knew her, so I was already comfortable. We already knew each other. We hung out a lot. We were friends, and it was easier for us to, it was easy for her to see my personality and know what I'm like. But it's hard for me to like new people. So when I'm at work, I don't like adjusting to new people. Or when I get a new job. Sometimes when I work on a new film set, like that first couple hours is for me is really cringy, and I'm sure it is for the same for other people, but like to adjust to new people is I wish you could just like know people easier. But whatever, I don't know. So yeah, dating, and I'm not good at it. I don't know if anyone's really good at it unless you're like a serial dater, but I don't know. So yeah, tonight I am going on a date, and hopefully she's nice. I haven't met her yet. We met over an app. I also don't like app dating. It is what it is. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I'm really excited. It's been it's my first date in over a year. I'm being completely honest with you guys. I have nothing to hide from y'all. So it's my first date in over a year. I haven't seen anyone in a year. Haven't been with anyone in a year. I've been on a dry spell. So, it'll be nice whether anything comes of it, whether it turns, I don't have any expectations. I'm looking at it as, it's going to be a fun time. I'm going to be meeting someone new and going to, get a couple drinks, and hopefully the chat is sick, hopefully, there's proper banter. So I'm really going into it with an open mind. At the end of the day, I just want to talk to somebody. Hopefully the banter's good. Hopefully the chat is sick. If she could tick a couple of boxes, that's good. But at the end of the day, I think I'm just trying to, I'm just looking for someone, that could be like a buddy, that could be a friend. You could build a relationship like that. You can, I think that at the end of the day, that if you could build a relationship from a friendship, then that right there is a proper backbone to any good relationship. Do you know what I mean? So if you have a friendship and it blossoms into like a full-on relationship, then I think that like you have the backbone to the relationship, right, is solid because you're already friends, you're friendly, like what ticks you off, right? And based on that, you can kind of figure out if you want to develop it more, if you want, I don't know, but do you know what I mean? So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just looking to have a good night, and it is what it is. So I think, I'll let you know how it goes. Hopefully it was a good day. I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah. So I think that's all I say about that. Um, man, it's so funny. I stopped watching. I didn't stop. I just finished the season, the most current season of Love Island. I finally finished it. Watched all 58 episodes, including the Christmas reunion. And it was kind of like bittersweet when it ended because it was 58 fucking episodes, and it was I liked it a lot. And yeah, so now that now I can use my experience of watching that to like do this, like to do the talk to camera bit, and hopefully like the comedy comes across as me trying to do that, but whatever. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I eventually I gotta go back and watch the other seasons of Love Island. I looked it up. I think they're coming out with a new season sometime soon. At least that's what it said. It got renewed for another season, and I started looking up I was just doing more research on Love Island, and apparently there's like 14 different ones or something like that. There's like a couple different countries where like Love Island is, or they do it, and I think the American one is starting this year. So that's fun, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, it's so like first dates are so strange because you want to show a person your personality, but at the same time you don't want to be full on because you don't want to scare that person off. And especially with my personality, I mean, you guys literally just saw it. Like, if I could do that all day, if I could fucking, be like this and be fucking wacky and, do crazy shit, then I would. But you can't do that on a first date. At least I don't think you can. At least, if that was, probably if it was me receiving that, I'd be like, huh? Because I wouldn't be expecting it. But I think if the moment calls for it, then maybe. I think for sure I'll reserve my Elmo voice for way down the line, maybe like 15 years into it. She'd be like, "It's me, Elmo," and she'd be like, "Oh, what the fuck? I didn't know you could do that." I'm like, "Yeah, I could do that for like 20 years." So she'd be like, "Whoa." That's one of the ones you don't like come out with. You don't be like, "Yeah, it's me, Elmo," and that's just, you don't do that in public. You like do it with your buddy, or you do it when you get paid to do it. I don't know, man. Hopefully it's fun. That's all I can ask for, and I will always do an impression if the moment calls for it. Otherwise, I don't see the point. Unless I'm bored out of my goddamn mind. So yeah, we'll see. We're going to this wine bar, this wine/beer bar, and yeah, hopefully it'll be a good time. Doing that in a couple hours. Like, I was trying to pick out my outfit. I was trying to figure out what I'm going to wear. I kind of have something. I'm going to try on 2 different things. I'm going to try on the first one that I picked out, and hopefully it's good. And then I won't have to try on the second one because then the first one was good, like I thought it would be. But I just got to keep my eye on the time. So I want to go for a run just to, like, look as slim as sleek as possible. I've lost so much weight. It's fucking awesome. I like looked in the mirror this morning when I woke up. I'm like, oh, hey. I did like a double take on myself. It was awesome. My stomach is flattening out to a point that I'm so excited for, It's amazing just in like I really can't wait to see where I'm going to be at soon. Like hopefully by like my 26th birthday, I'll be fucking shredded up and being able to do like the things that I've been wanting to do for the last 25 years. It's amazing to see I'm sticking to my diet. I cheated a little bit on on Sunday, Justin's grandparents took us out for dinner, and I hadn't had a burger with cheese in 4 5 months, and I was like, you know what, we're going out. I haven't had one in a while. Let's do it. And as I was eating it, instantly regretted it, but I'm like, hey, it's all good. You don't eat this. It's fine. And didn't really sit well with me. Didn't really sit well in the gut. So I think I'm gonna not eat that anymore. I realized that I don't need that stuff. I don't miss that stuff. I don't miss dairy or carbs or sugars. Chocolate, dark chocolate. Can't skip a day without that. I have an addiction to dark chocolate, so I have to have that in some form, whether it's like dark chocolate almonds or dark chocolate little thingies from Trader Joe's. So I do get a little bit of sweetness here and there, but everyone's got a vice. Last Friday night, Justin was out, and I decided that I was gonna, smoke a bowl, and just hang out, watch a movie. I'm trying to write a new film, a second feature film. This one it's actually more of the first one, the road trip one that you guys know about, is something that I really want to invest a lot of time into and like plan properly and do it right. And like, it doesn't need to be $1 million budget. It could be in the low thousands, but it's just one that needs some more time. The second one that I decided to do, I want to write it in one weekend, and I want to shoot it in one weekend. I just want it to be run and gun. I really want to challenge myself. My friend, Jake Armbruster, who was on months ago, he did a whole feature film in one day, 12 hours, or I think he said 18 hours or something like that. But he shot a whole feature film in one day, and I think I can shoot one in a weekend. I know, as long as I know the shots I don't need and the story is simple and straightforward. He pulled it off. They pulled it off because they had 20 different cameras rolling, and it was kind of an improv thing, or based around one main idea. Mine's gonna have one large. It has a main idea, but it needs the whole thing. It's not very. I'm not sure if it's gonna have very much room for improv, but I'm definitely gonna write it. And when I write it, I'll know what the shots, like when we go and shoot it. I'm shooting for the edit, so hopefully minimal takes, very minimal coverage. I have 2 actors in mind, 2 that I've never worked with before, but 2 that I know can do it. The script's going to be based on one. It's going to have one main character with like maybe 2 other floating characters that like bookend it, or whether or not show up in the middle. I don't know, but yeah, these 2 people that I'm teetering back and forth on, and for the main character, I know they can do it. They have, for this type of story that I'm trying to tell, I know they have it. I just have to. I want to talk to them a little bit more and figure it out before I pick one. But yeah, fuck, I forget why I was talking about this. Shit, why did I decide to talk about this? Fuck, man. I wish there was someone in here who could be like, "Yeah, you were talking about this because of that." And all you guys are saying that shit. Fuck. Anyhow, I don't even remember. Oh, yeah. So anyway, on Friday night when I was getting high, I was gonna watch a movie. I had to pick this movie out to base my script off of. Not 100% base it off of, but I knew there was the type of storyline that I want to write is very thematically similar to that one. I don't want to talk about it right now, because I want it to be a surprise. But thematically, and yeah, it's gonna follow the same narrative structure. Not 100%, but for the most part, it will. And so I wanted to. I love this director and the way he films, and so I wanted to look at it as far as shots. I wanted to look at it as far as story, because the way I remembered it was actually a lot different than the way it was actually made, which it tends to be the case when you like reflect on like stories and movies and things like that. It's always different than the way you remember it, and that's why like sometimes when you go back and watch like classic movies, you're like, wait, it's not as good as I remember it to be. That sucks, because you always retain the best parts of that movie or book or show and not the shit ass parts. So but I honestly, like, I love this movie. The one that I watched, that I chose to watch, it's one of my top 5 for this director. And I just didn't remember it being made like that. I thought I think I was like mixing up a couple of different movies, and I just thought it was actually a lot just different than what I remembered. But anyway, it gave me a lot more thought and idea for the script. But so anyway, prior to getting high and smoking, I went to Ralph's, and I was like, you know what? Justin's out. He's not coming home tonight, and you know what? I'm gonna have a little fun. And I went to Ralph's, and I went down the chip aisle, and I'm looking at all these chips and pretzels and blah blah blah, and I'm like, nothing is jumping out. I don't want any of this. I don't want any of this shit. And I looked at the candy. I'm like, I don't want the candy either. So I bought a bottle of wine, went home, and that was it. I think I wound up making like chicken. I didn't even buy like a burrito or anything that I normally do when I smoke. It was just crazy that, and now I remember what I was trying to get at. Like when I ate that burger, like it just, it did nothing for me. It was all empty. Like, aside from the beef, but it was all like, I don't need this. I don't miss the dairy. I don't miss the sugar. I don't miss the bread. Like, and even when I have the choice of going to the store and buying that shit and coming home and having no one to judge me while I eat it, I only have myself in it. It's like, I can do it. There's no one stopping me. I'm not even stopping me in this moment. But the desire for that thing isn't there anymore. Like, I don't crave or need or want chips. I mean, maybe, like, I think the last time I had some chips were, like, some corn chips for Cinco de Mayo. Made some salsa and guac and had some chips. That was it. But, like, potato chips and shit, I don't miss it. I don't want it. And when you realize, and, like, I calorie count, and, when you realize that it's just, like, all empty calories, and when you can eat way more, like, protein than you can chips, like, you kind of start making better choices. So, yeah, I mean, I love the progress I've made. I think I've made some amazing progress, and I can't wait to see where I keep going. Like, I'm so sore. Me and Justin worked out super hard yesterday and Monday. Today's Wednesday. I normally record on Fridays for the next Friday, but my schedule, blah, 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 you don't care. So, yeah. Progress is good. A lot of good stuff happening. Like I said, I'm writing a new story. Still working on my other story. Justin and I are possibly going to go up to Seattle to visit his grandparents. Actually, it's more than a possibility. It's extremely likely, because they live up there. My story starts in Seattle, ends in Los Angeles. My first script. So I think it would be beneficial to take that drive to make sure that, like, the beats and the storylines that I've thought out actually kind of work and aren't just like what I imagine them to be based off, like, research of maps and things that I've looked online and made up. So we're gonna do that at some point over the summer, and it was really nice to spend time with them, because, like I was saying, I don't have grandparents anymore. I totally diverged from that, but what I was trying to get at, it was very nice, and it made me grateful for the time that I had with my grandparents, both sets, and like all the experiences and things that I've done with them. And it was just nice to see that, like, I hope I'm around that long for my grandkids. When they're in their 20s and whatnot. Like shit. Like I said, my great grandma was. My dad's gonna be in his mid 50s, and my great grandma just passed away last Thursday or Wednesday or something, like a week ago. And may her soul rest in peace, and and she be reunited with her husband Papa Joe. So, yeah, but yeah, it was a very good week. We got a lot done. We got a lot done with our business. A lot of things moving and rolling, and a lot of progression. And that's what it is, guys. That's really all it's been is a lot of progress, a lot of self progress, a lot of business progress, a lot of just progress. And it's really fucking awesome. This year has been fucking just moving and shaking. That's what we're doing. We're moving and shaking. And we're coming up onto almost a full month of me being 25. I've got a few more days, and got like 6 days? 6 days, it'll be a full month. And I'd say this first month has been pretty fucking great. I would say so. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna go for a quick jog around the block before this date, and shower, get all sexy. I'm gonna get all sexy. I'm gonna walk in like this, hey, what's up, how's it going? My name is Harry. Good to meet ya. Yeah, so I'm real sexy. I bet you already knew that though. Can I get you one? Can I get you a drink or something? So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you guys. I really want to bring more guests on. I know I talk about that a lot, and I just want to make this more fun. I want to make this more fun for you. I want to make this more fun for me. And not that I'm not having fun. I just want to amp it up, So, yeah, definitely when this, like I said last time or the time before, when the pod becomes one, it's gonna be revamped. Already brainstorming things. It might not happen right away, but it definitely will happen. So thank you for joining me. You can make sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. You can find it on Spotify. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Just search Written and Directed By. You can follow me on Instagram at Harrison Burger, Twitter Harrison C Burger. Follow the podcast on Instagram at Written and Directed By Pod. Podcast is also on Twitter. If you want to chit chat, you start a conversation, message me on any of the socials. Happy to reply. Happy to get things moving and, rocking and rolling. We can chit chat, and if you guys want to send in questions, I would love to do that with you guys. If you have suggestions on guests that you want to see, please send me that. I'm always interested to see who you guys want me to talk to. Definitely working on some big time guests, so at least they are big time to me. So yeah, we shall see what happens in the future. But thanks for joining me, guys. I'll let you know how the date went, and I will see you next week. Cut.